Good morning and welcome back to White Mountains Today here on White Mountain TV 16. And joining me in the studio, Deb from Lost River. How are you today?
Good morning. I'm wonderful.
You took the travel over from Lost River. What must have been a nice morning coming over.
It was a beautiful ride over. The clouds were all lifted, the mountains were starting to be seen, and saw a little red fox walking along the side of the road on my way. It was a great drive.
There you go. It'll be a good drive going back, and if somebody's over here, going over there. So, it's a nice drive. It's a nice drive going over there anyway. So let's talk about Lost River. Let's talk about the anniversary first.
It is very exciting. We are celebrating 100 years of land protection by the Society for the Protection of New Hampshire Forest, which is pretty special when you have a conservation organization owning a property that over 60,000 people visit a year, and it's just as pristine and beautiful as it was over 100 years ago.
That's great. That's great. And of course, one of the questions that people probably ask is because the tropical storm Irene coming through last fall, and you said it kind of rumbled up some stuff, but really didn't do as bad damage as you would, I guess, feared is probably the right word.
It did hit us. We were closed down for 3 days altogether, but we ended up with wonderful help, got put back into service very quickly. The Judgment Hall of Pluto is the one cave we're still working on which was the one in 1985 when Gloria hit, got knocked pretty hard. So
I think it needs to be renamed the hurricane hole.
Yeah, so we're going to work on it during the course of the season again, and we'll hopefully get it open. It's now letting the water to get down low enough to be able to get in there and try to get unplugged what was plugged. So Mother Nature hasn't really been too cooperative on that as of late, but it's been beautiful up there.
But that's what Lost River's all about, though. I mean, it's all Mother Nature, it's all the rain, it's all the rocks that kind of make it unique.
Well, and we kind of joke, what she takes away in one, she gives back in another.
Right.
And there are some times with the weather we've had that we haven't had some of the caves open, but it's still just as beautiful. There's waterfalls that come in off the sides that aren't normally there.
Right.
If it's really dry weather. So it's just, every time you come, there's something different to see. I've been there, this is my 9th season there, and still when I go down, I find something that's different, or it's just beautiful no matter what.
That does make it fun. I've been there a bunch of times, and I agree with that every time it's a little bit different. Things, you see things you remember, you see things that, are different. And of course, you guys keep it up so well. The boardwalks and, all the wooden stuff. I'll just call it the wooden stuff for lack of a better term. And that's something that I noticed, that the quality of the condition of the wood, it's not splintered or anything like that. It's kept very nice, but it's not like all brand new, pressure treated wood. It's classic wood. It looks great, and it's kind of hard to describe, but you know what I'm saying.
I do, and it's because of great staff who have a lot of pride and enjoy doing what they're doing. So, and we do have a new extension of a boardwalk up that we had opened up last year. We did put some boardwalk in to make it a more pleasant trip for the guests and to preserve the environment a little bit. And we call it the Stairway to Heaven, and it takes you up to the top, and there's a pothole that's really high up. And of course, the only way the pothole could have been formed was to have the water up that high with a lot of pressure. And I'm really a visible person, and when you stand up at the top of this pothole and look out, you're looking out down into the valley of North Woodstock. So all of a sudden you're standing looking at this pothole down below you and realize just how much water and ice had to be covering that area.
Oh, that's very cool. Now the other thing too is you've got your lantern tours.
We do. We started the first one last night. I'm probably a little groggy this morning. It's a lot of fun. We had a full group for the first night, and it's a very different perspective to going down to see the gorge. We will give people headlamps if they don't have them. The caves are all lit still with just the paraffin lanterns, and during the day when you come, there's some caves that are lit enough by light, natural light, so they don't have to have lanterns, but during the nighttime tour, all of the caves have lanterns put in them, and the only artificial light we use down there for that is we put a light on Paradise Falls, only so people can take pictures. And it is amazing what phones and cameras will take at night. So it's beautiful. It is just very, very different, a whole different set of senses. And It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, oh, I can imagine, and been very popular. Now you need to make reservations for that.
You do. We will take reservations over the phone. Our telephone number for that is 603-745-8031. They can find the number on the website. But we hold it with a credit card. We don't recommend it for children under about 5 or so because it is a late evening.
Yeah.
And we have s'mores afterwards.
Oh, that's great. It sounds like so much fun, and like you say, you're looking at it with a totally different perspective. So even if you think you know it, you don't really know it.
And it's funny because a lot of people, when I ski at night, for some reason I have much less fear skiing at night, and I ski a lot faster, and it's a different perspective at night. And people who are claustrophobic, for some reason, have had a much easier time going through the caves at night. And I don't know whether it's because of the lighting that helps to make a difference. But we do have a lot of people who come during the daytime, and when they come back and do the cave tour at night, they say they're really very glad they did, and vice versa, because it is just so different.
Oh yeah, I can imagine that.
You have to come over and see us and go on one.
But I don't stay up there.
We'll even squeak in.
And let's talk about some other things you've got going on this summer. What else is cooking there at Lost River?
Well, we have, on our website, we have the whole list of events, so they can access that by going to lostrivergorge.com. But starting in July, on Thursday nights, to celebrate the centennial, we're having a series of speakers that are coming in and are talking something about either the history of the gorge or in relation to the wildlife or the natural environment there. We are actually going to do a float in the Woodstock Parade, which in 4th of July, which for us is a big thing because we're so busy. But we're going to do it to celebrate the centennial. And we're going to have another birthday celebration towards the end of the season where if people come dressed in period clothing, they will get admission free. And we have a lot of different specials going on. Father's Day, actually, today.
Today is
Yes, it is. So happy Father's Day. And we are going to be honoring fathers with, they're free with the admission, paid admission of a child.
That'd be a fun thing to do. Take Dad down to Lost River.
I would think it would be for them.
I think it would be very nice. They're not getting the hint. Well, they're all sleeping. But,
so it will be a good day.
Well, that's great.
The weather's nice, and we can't ask for much more than that.
Now, I'm trying to remember, like a year or two ago, didn't you opened up a different little path, and you discovered something that was hiding in the woods, a boulder or?
Oh, that's part of the path that we were working on it, and we're getting to the final stages of finishing that up now. And it's got that pothole that's up there.
Okay.
There's also an old growth tree up there, which we don't really, New Hampshire, because of the change. At one point, it was mostly clear cut and very left wooded, that there's not much old growth forest left. And of course, people think of old growth as being the giant redwoods, which is not, but we have an old growth section up there. The pegmatite dike that makes up the Paradise Falls, there's a section of that runs up through, and it's just this huge, great big chunk of white quartz, and it's absolutely, it's beautiful.
That's
and there's
cool.
a vernal pool that's up there too. So it's own little
section. And I remember you saying that, so that's very neat.
Yeah, it's very neat. So, and we've just reopened that actually over the last couple of days because it got closed the latter part of the season last year after Irene, and then we were putting in the section of boardwalk. So it's just over the last couple of days.
Oh, that's great. Now, of course, if people want to find out more about Lost River, they can go to your website, which is?
lostrivergorge.com.
That's pretty easy, isn't it?
It is. We try to make it easy.
And we're looking at it right there. There's the Lost River Gorge website right there. Very easy. Has all the information you need right there on the website. And they could also give you a call if they wanted at?
603-745-8031.
And terrific. And definitely check it out. If you haven't been to Lost River Gorge, make it this summer is your summer to go because it's the 100th anniversary. And it really is a unique experience. It's really neat, and it's for people of all ages.
It is, and you don't have to go through, there's 11 different caves. Right now we have 10 of the 11 open. And you don't have to go through any of the caves if you don't want to, and if there's people in your party that want to go, they can, and you don't end up losing them. And the 3/4 mile walk is mostly all on boardwalk. There's stairs and railings, there's benches along the way. It's self-guided, and so it's at your own pace, and it really is. The oldest person we've had go through that I know of in my 9 seasons I've been there was 87, and he went through all of the caves. And the youngest that we had go through was 2 weeks, and bless her heart, the mom carried her through. And we actually had a woman last year that was 9 months pregnant, and she went through the lemon squeezer. She came up and asked me if we had T-shirts that in infants that says I made it through the lemon squeezer. I was like, no, we haven't had that happen. No, but it's for all ages.
Yeah. And you can have lunch and everything else there too.
Yep, so. we have a snack bar that's there. It's kind of a grab and go. Yeah. We do. But it's a cool place. One of the, I think the coolest things that I think is with the way technology has advanced and teenagers and adolescents, it's one of the few things that you can do that gets you out there into nature, and the kids all like it, no matter what, and they can put away their cell phones for a while or their iPods. Absolutely. And just have a good time with the family.
And it's an easy drive from over here. Go over the Kangamogus or different ways over to it, so it's a nice drive. So don't let that throw you off. Don't say, oh, I have to drive. No, because it's a beautiful drive over there, too. That becomes part of your experience.
It is.
So, Deb, thanks so much for coming down.
Thank you very much.
And I'm sure we'll see you again. And we'll be back here in a minute on White Mountains Today.
Welcome to Lost River Gorge and Boulder Caves. We are in beautiful Kinsman Notch with Mount Moosilauke in my background. We are only 7 miles outside of North Woodstock on Route 112 West. Lost River Gorge was formed millions of years ago. The caves that are down there, the theory is that it was either caused by an earthquake breaking away the boulders from the sides of the gorge, or from the freezing and thawing action from our still harsh winters even back then. People enjoy Lost River because of the beauty, because of the challenge of some of the different caves, the waterfalls, the covered bridge. It's very peaceful, very tranquil, but a whole lot of fun. We have 3/4 of a mile boardwalk with a series of 11 different boulder caves that you can choose to go through. When you go into Lost River, you're going to go 300 feet down into the gorge, which has nicely guided you through with stairs and hand railings. The caves are all optional to go through or to bypass. They are anywhere from being able to stand up and just kind of take a peek in and turn around and come out, to getting down on your belly and wriggling and crawling through. We have a Junior Gorge Guide program for children up to 12 years of age, and there's a card that asks you a series of questions, and the questions can be answered by either the maps or down in the gorge. And if the kids fill those cards out and then bring them back to us when they get done, we'll give them a small surprise. The other thing it does is it also will send them a postcard in the spring, and it will give them free admission back for the following year. $1 off for each parent or other children that are with them.